So we've also gotten questions about some of the late availability options and what that looks like for actual orders and deliveries for customers. When customers order their Bronco, are they able to initially get some of the non-late availability options and then upgrade to those options when they come out later? So for example, when we're looking at some of the tops that are late availability, if they choose to, are they able to get a soft top initially and then upgrade to that hard top later on? Or what does that look like to kind of make that connection piece as those options come out?
It's a great question. If you order a late availability item like a dual top or a modular black painted hard top, it does delay the delivery of your Bronco because it physically cannot be built at the plant until those items come online at the factory. So if you are trying to get one of the first Broncos on the road, don't order the late availability stuff. It will impact when you will receive your Bronco. The other piece of the question is, could I just order a soft top and then add a hard top later, or a modular hard top later? There are a couple tails to this. First of all, when we build a soft top vehicle at the factory, it does not come with the connections for the rear windshield wiper on the hard top. So you won't have a rear wiper or the ability to spray windshield wiper fluid on the back of your glass there. And then the other piece of it will be that ordering a hard top, while you can do it through your dealer, through the parts department, it will be more expensive to purchase it through a dealer parts department just because it is such a large piece and freight for that actual item is quite expensive. So it's going to be cheaper for customers to just spec it the way they want it from the factory if they're trying to get a hard top option. The soft top's kind of a story. If you don't want to wait for dual top, you can just get the hard top, like a molten color hard top, which will be available in Job 1, and you could order an accessory soft top from the Ford accessory catalog later down the line. And I know that you guys have covered some of the best top offerings that will be coming for the soft top, like the two-door option.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and I think we see a lot of those options in the catalog already. So I know there's going to be a lot of options for people that want to choose between having both or alternating between one or the other. So thanks for answering that question.
We don't have the soft top items up on Build and Price yet. Those are some of the things we're trying to add in March. But I think customers will like those different accessory items that we're going to have.
So we've gotten some questions about first editions, and we know that obviously that first run of 3,500 sold out almost immediately, and then they added that kind of additional number that they're going to build as well. How do we see that affects the build dates and the delivery dates of some of the first edition models? Obviously being the first edition and some of them being at the front of that reservation window. Can we expect to see those to be built first or a little bit later on? What does that look like?
Yeah, great question. So first edition will be built. Well, first of all the first editions will be built in the 21 model year. As far as when they get built in the 21 model year, that's going to depend on if first edition customers want to wait for some of the late availability tops or not. So if you just select the molded in color hardtop, it could be built, earlier on before those late availability options come in. It'll be built very early on because you'll have got a first edition. They sold out very quickly. So odds are it'll be built, towards the beginning of the production run. If customers select the modular black painted hardtop or the dual top options, that could impact the delivery date for their first edition. It will have to get built after that timing point for those tops. I know everyone's curious what that timing point is. We're still nailing that down, finalizing it. So as soon as we do get that exact date, we'll get it out to you guys for sure. Um, so that's kind of the trade-off that customers are going to have to make.
Mm-hmm. And if the customer was on kind of that second wave of first editions that were released and they have a reservation for one of those, does that place them kind of farther back in line for delivery or build as opposed to, that day one customer?
No, so it's linearly sequenced as far as the reservation queue. So even if a customer got the part of the doubling to 7,000, it'll be seamless as far as like when they place the reservation. So the reservation that they placed, say they were 3,501, that timestamp will apply to their place in line when they made the actual first edition reservation.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Got it. So diving a little bit deeper into those first edition options, we've got some questions, particularly on the tow package. So, are we able to get the tow package with the first edition?
So you can get the tow package on the 2-door first edition. It's not available on the 4-door.
Okay, got it. And then also, are we able to get a soft top with the first edition?
So there's two ways. You can't just get like only a soft top. You can either wait for the dual top option as late availability, or you could take delivery of the hard top first edition and then get one of the soft tops from the accessory catalog. Those would be the two ways to get a soft top first edition.
Got it. Thanks for answering that. So we see in build and price, there are some restricted options or features based on different trim levels. So for example, if I'm trying to spec out a 4-door 2.7 Badlands, then I can't get the sound deadening headliner. We've seen a couple different options like that are restricted. Can you speak a little bit more into that, and as well as, I guess, GVWR and what that is and what that means for some of those different options?
Yeah. So maybe starting with GVWR, it's the gross vehicle weight rating. So it's what your vehicle is rated to have in terms of payload and towing as well. So the examples you gave of the vehicles in build and price where there's some limitations on the accessories and options, it's kind of complicated. I'll try and give a high-level explanation of why that is. So the system that actually allows vehicles to be built, it can't keep a running tab of all the items you've selected and basically add up what the total weight of the vehicle is. The way it functions, unfortunately, is that it has to be able to build a vehicle assuming every single option is checked on the vehicle. So it's not dynamically calculating, this is the GVWR of the vehicle and this is the weight of all the items that you've selected. So it has to always plan for the worst case scenario. So unfortunately, what that means for us when we spec out what is and isn't available on the vehicle is we sometimes have to make some tough choices on what we make available from an optionality perspective. So it's not to say that, a certain vehicle couldn't have an NVH headliner, the sound deadening headliner. It just means that it couldn't have an NVH headliner if you selected every single possible thing and then tried to add that on top of it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. That does make sense. I think that clarifies a lot of the, questions that people have had about that. And I know we've been receiving a lot, and so that's important to know. So if we can't get some of those options right now in build and price, do we expect an update to that or the ability to get options or features or accessories from the factory when we do order them? or maybe even from the dealer, kind of after that order process?
Unfortunately, just the way that the system's set up is you can't order them from the factory. It's not an orderable combination. So there's not going to be a way for customers to get it from the factory. So that's unfortunately the reality of the situation.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Esteban. I think that's all the questions that we have.
If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more interesting videos.